Hello and welcome to the Fairy Little Podcast. I'm Marsha, also known as Fairy Little, and this is my podcast all about knitting. I mentioned before that one of the things I'm doing is trying to get all of my past knits off the needles, which is what I'm still trying to do. I have a finished object, and I'll show that in a couple minutes, but I picked up a pattern that this was one of my first designs. It was my second design. But I changed the design a lot, and because I changed the design a lot, I didn't finish this. And I picked it up last year because I was working on finishing all of my projects. And I ran out of yarn on the edging, so I ordered more yarn. And I was going like really well, and I ran out of yarn. So when I had to order more yarn, it took a while to come. And then I just put it away, and I've had the yarn for it since probably last July, but I didn't do anything with it. So I pulled it out to see how far I needed to go to finish. So this is the Schmancy shawl, but it doesn't look like this in the actual pattern. There's no diamonds in the actual pattern. I took those out because I wanted to simplify the pattern. But what I found was this is where I had left it. So there was only, move that out of the way. There was only this much left to do from here to there. So it's not a lot that I had left, but I had just put it away. And I remembered that it wasn't a lot that I had left. When I picked it up, I just was so surprised. So last night I knit this far on it. So that's 5 repeats. I have a half a repeat here and a half a repeat there, which makes 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 repeats left of the edging, and then this one will be done. I am going to finish this week, so it will be a finished object for next week. The yarn I am using I still have the tags for it. So the yarn I'm using, the purple, is by Undead Yarn, who is Undead Heidi on Instagram. It is 70% alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. This yarn is so luxurious. It's just like so soft, and I cannot wait to have this next to my skin. This is actually one of my favorite colors, is this kind of lavender color. As you know, with like they're kind of the same family from the socks that I'm knitting. I love lavender. It is so beautiful. And the white along the edge is Berocco Folio. It is 65% superfine alpaca and 35% rayon. It is a very luxurious feeling yarn as well. It is not as nice as the Undead yarn, but it does have a similar hand like feeling. It's a little bit heavier than the Undead yarn, the Dino yarn, which means that the yardage didn't go as far as it should have. It is still fingering. These are both fingering weight yarns, and they're so beautiful. So this shawl is just, it wraps around you so easily. How it is made means that it actually should form a circle if it wasn't, or a square, if it didn't have that divide in it. It would form a square. But because it does have the divide, it means that when you wear it, it fits over your shoulders really nicely. And I can't believe I put this away for so long. This is probably one of my longest works in progress that I have on the needles because I have been working through everything. This one, I started knitting this when I first started podcasting with Priscilla. So it's like 4 or 5 years, I think 4 years that this has been on the needles, and it definitely is coming off the needles. It is one of the last projects that I have that isn't a design in progress that I have to finish out of my old whips. I really worked hard to finish or frog so many things last year because I just wanted to start with clean needles. So that was the last of the bunch of things. I do have, I still have 6 things on the needles that are old projects, but they're old designs. So they are going to come out again, and I'm going to work on designing more with them after I get this work in progress done. I'll just systematically go through each. The finished object I have is here. It is my Absorption cowl. This is one of my designs. And this one I used completely all scrap yarn. For each color, it's a different color for each one. Even the white looks like it's white, but it is not. Most of these are Cascade Heritage Silk yarn. This one is not. This one is Smith & U. This middle color is Cascade Heritage Silk. This green is Cascade Heritage Silk. This was from a Christmas advent calendar from a few years ago. I think probably 3 years ago. This one is this one's a Knit Picks. This one is this one's a Knit Picks. That one's a Knit Picks. This one's Ginger Snap yarn. This one is Sweet Georgia. This one's Cascade Heritage Silk. This one's a Knit Picks. This one is a Knit Picks, and this one's a Cascade Heritage Silk. So there is quite the collection of yarns in this, and it is going to be added to my Christmas knit box, which is a knit along that I'm currently running till Christmas. What you can do to join is use the hashtag Christmas Knit Box on Instagram, and also on Ravelry you can join the group, and there's a thread for it as well, so you can join in both places, and I'll draw a winner from both. It's going to be fun. I don't have prizes chosen yet. I'm still thinking about what kind of prizes I will do, probably yarn, like things that I have. So I'm really happy and excited for those of you who are joining me. You can post pictures of your works in progress, your boxes, and your finished objects, and your finished objects in your box. So that is what we are doing right now. So now I have, this is my 4th item for my Christmas knit box. After I finished that, and before I picked up the Schmancy one more time, I cast on a pair of socks that are they're just socks. They are 64 stitches doing magic loop. The yarn is Zen Garden. In the Jakey colorway, it is 90% super fine superwash merino and 10% nylon. It is a beautiful blue color. I am knitting these for a friend of mine who gave me a bunch of books, so I'm knitting these socks for them. It's such an easy, mindless knit because I don't have to think about anything, just knitting. And this one I can do on autopilot. So I went to the beach and cast this on, and just sat and knit it was a beach park. And it was really relaxing. For my cuffs, I do 21 rows because I like a nice long cuff. And this friend has size 10 feet and mine are size 9. So I know that I need to make them a bit longer. I just need to print off my measurements again for for the sock foot measurement. Those are coming along really nicely. I also am running a secret knit along with my patrons over on Patreon. These are the socks. We just finished the gusset. So it's got the ribbing, it has the body, the heel flap, the heel turn, and the gusset, and that's where we are. This yarn is Lily and Pine Fiber Arts in the rose sock base, which is 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. I love knitting with cashmere. It is just my go-to fiber. I really love it when things are soft. I'm such a texture person. I'm very, very tactile. I like to touch things. So this is just amazing to have my hands in, and it's so beautiful and squishy. I'm just enjoying this so much. This pattern will be available in a few weeks when the knit along is done. All of the patrons are going to receive this pattern for free, and it will be up for sale for the general public after we are complete. So take a look forward to that in the next probably 3 weeks. I would say it should be available. So I'll keep you posted on the process as we continue on with that. I have one more thing to share with you. My lovely friend Allison from Allison Barnes Yarn contacted me. She knows that I've been designing, and she asked if she could do yarn support for one of my designs. Absolutely, I love working with your yarn. She sent me a sweater's worth of BFL worsted yarn, and this yarn is in the Seashells colorway. It's 100% blue face luster wool, and it's untreated. There's 200 yards for 115 grams, and it's a 4-ply worsted. So this yarn is so pretty. It is very sheepy, but not an overpowering sheepy smell, but it's definitely yummy. I'm really happy with this yarn. As soon as I got it, I swatched. So my swatch is done. I have started doing the measurements and the math for the new design I'm working on. It is going to be a sweater. It's going to have some really cool elements, I think, that will keep things interesting. And I'm really enjoying knitting with this yarn. So I'll keep you posted on how that goes. I won't be showing the project as I'm designing it, just because I want to keep it under wraps until it's ready to be test knit. Because that process can take quite a long time. It can take, 6 months to a year to go from idea to item. Test knitting can often take longer, but also any errors or anything, you need to give enough space for the timing for that to be corrected. So stay tuned for that. But Allison Barnes Yarn also does yarn support for people who are doing test knits for larger sizes, which is amazing because yarn for a sweater or a garment can be quite expensive when you are dealing with a larger size bust. Once a month, she picks somebody who will get a sweater's worth of yarn for test knitting a larger size garment, and it's in the process of make garments more accessible to the higher sizes, which I think is really amazing. So that is it for the knitting content for today. If that's all you were here for, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of you. If you're interested in supporting the podcast, take a peek in the down bar below. There's a lot of different options, including purchasing patterns or buying me a cup of coffee or even just watching the ads. All help. And if you are interested in jibber jabber, let's get jibber jabbering. The weather here, let's start off with the weather. The weather here has been beautiful. I got a little bit sunburnt yesterday because I spent some extra time in the sun knitting some socks in a hammock, which sounds as glorious as it actually was. I really enjoyed it. I had a whole list of to-dos to do, and I didn't do the to-dos. And it was really nice to not do the to-dos. I work on weekends, which means that there's only one day in the weekend that I do get down. And I definitely took that day. I went on a beautiful walk in the morning yesterday. I'm recording this on Monday morning. I went on a beautiful walk yesterday, which was Sunday, to another little local town. And I haven't spent much time in that town, but it was really beautiful. The whole area where I live is beautiful, but going into like the little communities around here and just going through the downtown, which is like 4 shops and a like a little mini mart. It was really cute. We came home and just had a relaxing afternoon at home. It was really nice. Saturday, I got off work a little bit early, and that's why I have to work a longer day today, because I have some computer stuff at work that I can't get done on the weekends because there's no one available. So I had to move some things around. So when I got home on Saturday, we had a bunny birthday party down at the park. It was so cute. One of the rabbits just turned 2, so that's really exciting for the kids. And it was a lot of fun. I took one of my girls and we went for a little stroll together. It was really nice, very relaxing. I have to say, I really love my life right now. Like there's the sidebar stuff that's happening, but my life in general, where I'm living, what I'm doing, the way we exist in my house is really beautiful. It's very relaxing. We're all really good at communicating what we want, what we need. It's just really nice. I wouldn't trade our life for anything. I never would have imagined it could be this good. So I want to share with you guys how happy I am. It's going really well. This week is going to be busy for me. I started going to see a massage therapist because I had a really bad issue with my back. I believe I talked with you guys about it a couple weeks ago. I had a muscle spasm. And that has all worked out. But the massage therapist is so funny because they are not, and I don't know if it's funny in a good way or if it's funny because I just find how different they are that it just amuses me. Like, this isn't a person I would be friends with in the real world. There's so many conversations that start off with no offense, but, and then goes off into a weird tangent. And the massage therapist talks with their hands. So during the massage, there's like a monologue for the entire massage, which isn't super relaxing. And they talk with their hands. So while they're massaging and talking the whole time, there's like a lot of this going on, which is not a lot of massaging, which I find really hilarious that they're a massage therapist and they monologue and talk with their hands, and that's not really what you do. I don't know. It actually makes me chuckle. I think that this week actually is my last appointment with this person. I'm going to go and see a different massage therapist after this, I think, and that will just leave me an interesting memory to go forward with. I think that's it for me for today. I know it was short and sweet, but it had to be. I have to get to work. I have to leave in like 5 minutes. So I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing week. I hope that your weekend is filled with all of the knitting that you could possibly desire in your life. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you have a beautiful day. Until next time.